Hello everyone. A while back I did a recording regarding the Micro Center blog post and some of my concerns that I have with their line of pre-built systems called Powerspec. Since then I've received comments and questions regarding the whole matter. I wanted to do a recording to kind of answer those comments and questions while also educating you a little bit on brand name computers. Okay, let me go ahead and get right into this. So, when it comes to gaming computers, you'll notice this. Well, I guess you'll notice this with gaming computers more than like your typical office computer. But a lot of the components that are in your gaming computer right now are going to be manufactured by different companies. In the case of video cards, for example, NVIDIA and AMD will make the actual chips, the video card itself, or I'm sorry, the video chip, or whatever word you wish to use. And then other companies like Gigabyte or trying to think, Power Color, Aces, and some of these others will take those chips and then make the full video card. That's generally what happens with a lot of your components is that one person will or one company will manufacture then a component and then another company will make the full thing. Generally speaking, that's usually what happens, with of course rare exceptions like I think Micron. I think Micron makes everything on their own, and I believe Antec's the other one. Someone who knows the finer details of this stuff can comment and let me know if that's correct or not. But from what I've read, that seems to be the gist of it. So I guess maybe we'll see what other people say. But either way, that's kind of like how you figure out what's in your computer. Now, let me get into why this is important. The reason I'm bringing it up and trying to educate you on this is because you will run into brand names that use, I guess you can say, custom built parts. If there is a custom built part, it's going to be a lot harder to tell if it's good or not, in comparison to something more established like a gigabytes based NVIDIA video card, right? And for that matter, it's going to be very hard to tell who is involved with the making of that particular component because a lot of times it's not listed. It is important to be aware of it, though, at least with more important components, I guess you can say, because in the case of the power supply, if you have a really crappy quality power supply and it goes out, there's a chance it could take out the motherboard with it. I've seen that happen before with computers before. It's been extremely rare. I've only seen this maybe happen a handful of times in the years I've been aware of computers and being involved in the building process, so I can tell you it's rare, so don't panic. It's something to be aware of, though, because it can happen. Anything can go wrong, and you just have to be prepared for that. But generally speaking, it's pretty rare, although it's worth being aware of for the simple reason if you're paying thousands of dollars for a computer, you want to make sure that your money is being spent well, because your gaming computer is going to last you for years. Who you talk to will have a different number for you, but I can tell you that the insurance companies who handle the returns and things like that, they think 5 years is the average for a gaming computer before you completely replace the system. Because in the 5 years, you'll likely replace a part, whether that be the video card or memory or something. But by the time that you've reached that 5 years, that's when you've reached a point that you can't change parts anymore because of limitations or something going on. And that's generally what the insurance companies think. So people will tell you that gaming computers might last longer than 5 years. So it really just depends on who you talk to. Okay, so let me now get into more specifics so you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So, seeing as the questions and comments have been directed towards the power supply, which seems to be custom made in some power specs, let me go ahead and kind of show you where to look for the stuff. So, let's see. So here's an Antec Earthwatts Gold Pro, which is one of the power supplies that I build with in my computers, and I do highly recommend. But when you look at the Antec Earthwatts Gold, it will have a sticker on it, which in this case it happens to be on the bottom side on some models, although I think they've changed that to the side. But either way, you'll find a sticker and it will list the model for you, all the certifications and tests it's been through, and the wattage of the rails, and so on and so forth. But you'll notice this on that the Antecs, that they don't list anything other than Antec, which leads me to believe that Antec is indeed making everything on their own, between this and, of course, reading about them. Again, if there is another manufacturer making components for Antec, somebody can let me know about that, because I haven't seen anything in articles to indicate otherwise. But anyway, so that's where you would look, is the sticker, because the sticker is where you'll see who makes it and all that stuff. So let me go ahead and tab over, because I want to show you this other example. Okay, so here's the really annoying thing with Dell, and this is a perfect example in terms of looking at the sticker. Now, each Dell power supply is going to be different, because obviously they have different lines of computers, ranging from their servers to OptiFlex to Alienware and many others. But they follow the same schematic or pattern, if you will, in that if you look at the sticker, it will tell you what's going on. You'll notice that who makes these power supply changes with not just the line, but also the years. So in this particular case, the power supply for this server happened to be made in the Philippines. But if you look at other power supplies, like the ones I've seen with XPS systems in recent years, I've noticed, have power supplies custom made from China. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. But point is that if you look on the label, it will tell you where it's manufactured, and a lot of times it will tell you who makes it. However, that's not going to always be the case, as Powerspec has proven. Powerspec seems to be, from what I could tell, not very good at informing who makes their power supplies. It literally just says Powerspecs. And it took me a while to believe this, because I'm not saying that I dismiss people, but I'm just saying that when I hear something that's not normal of the industry or a component, it takes me a little bit to catch on to that. But I did some research, not just on Google, but I've actually went to a Micro Center store and looked at Powerspec computers to confirm this. But they do indeed, on some models, have a Powerspec power supply that does not list where it's manufactured or who manufactures it, which is kind of troubling, honestly, the fact that the sticker doesn't give enough details. This Dell sticker that you're seeing up here gives more details than the Powerspec power supply in terms of information. That is really, really scary to me, and quite frankly, I would not go near a Powerspec system that has this. I would sooner, if I was forced into a decision of two lesser evils, and it was a choice between a Powerspec built power supply or the Cooler Master MWE White, I would choose the Cooler Master MWE White, because at least I'm somewhat aware of who's making it and who's involved in terms of the components and manufacturing. Like I said in that recording, I wouldn't go near a Cooler Master MWE White, because there are numerous reviews as well as forum posts that say to avoid Cooler Master power supplies. But like I said, if it's a case of lesser evil, then that would be my choice. So, summary of where I'm going with all these recordings, with all these examples, is that it's really hard to answer the question of what's good if there's not a reputable review for it, or if there's not enough information to go on. And if the sticker just simply says Powerspec or Dell, and they don't list who the sub-manufacturer is or where it was made, then it's really hard to know if it's good or not. And for that matter, hard to know if it's worth trusting your money with that. Because, like I said, you're spending thousands of dollars on these gaming computers, and in some cases exceeding $2,000. And so you want to make sure that your money is being spent wisely, because that's something that's going to last you for a couple of years, and you want it to last those years. If it dies because of some faulty component, then that's going to suck. So unfortunately, I really can't answer the question or really comment on it because of just that. There's not enough information to go on. That's all I have. Thanks for listening.